My name's David Hart. I'm one of the founders and I'm the COO, which means I'm kind of broadly responsible for all things commercial, I guess, within the organisation.
So my name is Mark McDermott and I'm the CEO of ScreenCloud.
I'm Luke, CTO. So my role is basically product and tech. So I run both the product teams and the engineering teams.
It must have been about 2002 when we first met, and we all worked for a company called Reading Room, which was a web design agency based in Soho. And I sat next to Mark for some of that time. I didn't really know Luke that much. I mean, I was aware of him, he was there, but I didn't really work with him directly, so he was more kind of Mark's contact.
I guess the genesis of Bangkok office was I left Reading Room, which was the agency where Mark, David and I worked together. We all left for our own reasons, and I went and freelanced, and then I ended up working with Mark and David. And I was living in Kentish Town, and they were in Clapham. So it was quite a trip on the Northern Line up and down, and I basically was working at home in my bedroom. So I decided it was kind of time to buy a house, and I thought, screw that. So we decided to move back to Thailand.
We'd never talked about Cogent whilst we were working at Reading Room. I remember going on a pitch with Mark, and we shared a train up and back. And obviously I knew him quite well because, you know, I'd been sitting next to him. I think we talked vaguely about would we ever set up our own thing. I always thought if I was ever going to start up a business, it would be with Mark. I kind of felt that he'd be a good person to set up a business with.
ScreenCloud started as a hack. It's actually a funny story. Me and Luke completely remember this differently, but we have kind of coalesced our story a little bit. So my version is I was using the kind of Chromecast technology. I picked up a Chromecast in New York, which hadn't released here, and I was really, really sick of watching Netflix on a laptop at home. I bought this Chromecast so that we could just actually watch quality TV and films on a proper screen. And I just kind of thought, well, if this is happening in everyone's home, they're going to be wanting to do this at work as well. Like, why wouldn't it be so easy to just chuck content up onto a screen at work? Luke was also working on something slightly differently, using iPads and screens. He was more on the tech side, trying to just figure out why that was so difficult.
We were working on Flow. It was basically an Instagram app for iPad. We kind of run out of features to add to it. And we got lots of requests from people to put it on Apple TV. They want to put it in shop windows and stuff like that. So I started looking at basically the technology to cast from the iPad to TV, Apple TV and other things. And I think around the same time Chromecast was coming out. So we started thinking, well, could we run it on Chromecast as well? And then I started looking at smart TVs. So basically I was kind of exploring the problem space of getting stuff on TV. And then out of that grew, I realized how much pain it was to sign up for those different platforms and stuff.
Getting the 0.9 funding was a really big tick in the box for all of us, really, because it was a real, you know, a sign of credibility, if you like. Up until that point, we had investors, but I guess we were convinced, and we were felt that we were doing a really good thing, and it was full of potential. But when you have a company like 0.9 who only invest, you know, they've got a track record of investing in very, very successful companies. And just to have those guys kind of saying, yes, you know, we believe, and actually they said that the investment in ScreenCloud was their biggest single investment. So not only do we have, you know, one of the best VCs, seed VCs in Europe investing in us, but they've also invested in us at a greater, you know, degree than any other company. That was it's just such a, I don't know, it was a real kind of sense of, right, we are, you know, if we ever needed any evidence, it was there that, you know, other people who we've got no connection with believe in us as well. So that was a really, I think it kind of changed, although it changed things in terms of the money and the support that we're getting, I think sort of psychologically it was a big change as well. It's grown massively, and I think we were probably less than 20 people 2 years ago. We've obviously taken on more funding in that time, so everything's changed really. I mean, we've opened offices in Belfast and Los Angeles, which we didn't have 2 years ago. So it's been a massive, fast and exciting journey.
around 2011 or something like that, I built a house, which was half office, half house, much larger. And we were there for quite a number of years, and only recently we've moved to the new office, which is, it was quite a search to find the right space. But eventually we found another big old house, actually even a lot bigger, and a really beautiful old house that's just been perfect for us really as an office.
The decision to go to Belfast, well, I suppose the previous decision was that we wanted to build an apps team, and that it just felt that if we tried to do all of that in Bangkok, it was just too much on Luke's shoulders. Belfast really just came out as the best choice, a combination of, well, mainly the people, to be honest. I mean, it is about the people. We really liked it. We kind of fell in love with the city just in one little trip. And Josh, big shout out to Josh, he did a lot of the legwork getting in contact with the original group of people. And yeah, we kind of never looked back, and then boom, a year later, it's 20 odd people now. So there's a funny story about how LA came to be. It all starts off in Las Vegas, in a casino. I went to my first DSE show solo in 2017. I think most people may have seen, there's a funny picture of just me with a table, a laptop, and one screen that I managed to get in my suitcase. I had no clothes because I had this screen in it, and I just got talking to Bobby at the bar, had a couple of beers with him, realised it was N-Plug, and I was like, oh, N-Plug, probably our direct competitor, I'd say. And we sort of kept saying hi and stuff like that. And then on the final night, when it was time to let the hair down, we went out. We went to obviously one of the big casinos where the final party was there. And then we were just talking about what we were doing, kind of the mission, and that he was telling me more about LA. I've been to LA quite a few times in my life, but as a tourist really. So I wouldn't say I knew LA that well, but I kind of liked I liked the city, what bits I knew of it. And then, yeah, Bobby was kind of like, look, there's a lot going on in LA, and kind of educated me a bit more on that. And then we just carried on talking for a few more months, and then Bobby came on board. And then I flew out to LA, and we sort of set up the office. I mean, we didn't have an office. We just did like a co-work space. Yeah, and then LA was born, really.
This is the one business that's really kind of growing, and we're kind of scaling past the point we've ever been before, and I personally believe the potential for where it's going to go is massive. So just to kind of have that opportunity to build out a platform that other things are going to run on top of, and I think it's beyond digital signage. It's basically a computing platform for screens in spaces. So I think the best thing for me is kind of being on this journey and seeing where we end up, and building team, and trying to kind of, like the office or whatever, it's just trying to put a really good environment together for people to work there, so that every day people get up and want to come to work. We've
hired some great people with great experience, but we've also hired some brilliant people with less experience but with a lot of potential. And I think that's what hopefully that's what we're going to be doing more of, but I think that's partly what has helped us grow so successfully.
I didn't want it to be just a playful startup, silly, but I wanted it to be fun, but also with real meaning and real kind of seriously wanting to do the good work, and really please our customers, and just try and just do everything with quality, but sincerity as well. And I really think that's actually something we've kind of, so far, touch wood, we've sort of nailed that. And I want to see that grow even more. And now it's actually not down to us as founders anymore. I think we had a lot to do with it at the beginning, kind of setting out those benchmarks of what we were looking for. But now it's kind of the team's taken that on and moved it forward. And I think that's really satisfying to see that culture is kind of appreciated and believed in, and is now being enhanced by other people. So I think just seeing the way the team's growing and the attitude of the people that we've got working here, I think that's for me the most satisfying thing, because it's basically what we wanted to happen.